Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified of each new video. Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. And today what I'm going to do is just take you through how to store up bulk foods in 5-gallon buckets with Mylar bags. This is a fairly simple process. It's really not that difficult. It's a little cumbersome and stuff like that, and you're lugging around the 50-pound bags and that kind of stuff, and so it may not be the best method for like some elderly people, or if you have a hard time lifting heavier objects and stuff like that, maybe this isn't the right way for you. But for most folks, it's a really pretty simple and fairly cost-effective way to put up bulk food. In this case, I've just got a lot of rice and pinto beans. We talked about this just recently on a video that I talked about on Food Storage 101, and that is that rice and beans and other bulk foods are a good foundation for your food storage. It's definitely not the only thing that you want to put up though, and I'm going to do a separate video covering that more in depth with regards to food boredom and the lack of variety in a diet and how that leads to weight loss. And that's the worst thing that you want in a survival situation, because if you only have rice and beans, you're going to continue, you're just going to eat less and less and less. You're going to keep losing weight and losing weight and losing weight, and it's just not a good survival strategy. So we'll talk about more of that in another video. But so the first thing we did here is we just laid out all the buckets, and then we put the Mylar bags in. And these are 5-gallon Mylar bags. You can get these at Discount Mylar, discountmylarbags.com or something along those lines. I'll put a link down in the description below. You can get them off Amazon. You can get them, lots of different places. They're not too bad as far as cost. I'll have to put in here what they cost exactly each. I know the buckets. I get those for $3.25 each at Menards, and then the lids are about another $1, I think, or $1.25, something like that. So there's some cost there. Now you can go to Walmart bakeries and different places like that that have 5-gallon buckets to give away, and you can clean those out and rinse them out and use those kinds of things. For me, it was just easier just to go and buy a bunch of buckets and use those. And some people have different methods of doing this. I think Bear over at Bear Independent, or TJ or whatever his name is, over at Bear Independent, he likes to do color coding for different kinds of foods, and that's a good method. For me, I'm just going to write on top of it, on the top of the lid, what it is with a with a marker or whatever. You could also do color coding with different colors of buckets for like what year you put it up, or something along those lines, or you could just write it in. So anyway, once I got the buckets the bags in the bucket, then I went and filled all the food that I'm gonna put up today. And the reason I did all this first instead of just doing one bucket at a time is because when I open the oxygen absorbers, ideally, I want to go ahead and get the oxygen absorbers down in the bag and get the bag sealed down and closed, fairly quickly. And these bags have a Ziploc feature on them, which is kind of cool because that helps close them up a little bit better. And then I'm going to go and use a flat iron to seal up the rest of it. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like here shortly. Okay, so I think that's the main point, main things that I wanted to cover here. As far as how much you get in each bucket. So basically what I've done is I'm doing about 25 pounds of rice and about 24 pounds of beans per bucket. Just to give you an idea so that you can use that for planning and stuff. One of these 50-pound bags from Walmart pretty evenly splits and mostly fills up the top of the bucket. Leaves me a little space extra for this excess Mylar and all that kind of stuff, and it'll go down in there. And it's also a little bit more manageable. If you fill it all the way up, you may have a problem with the lid bulging, you know, and they do get a little bit heavier. You could probably put another 5 pounds in there if I had to guess. And then with the beans, like I said, I got about 24 pounds. I got 3 8-pound bags that fit in there. Kind of same thing with that. You could probably squeeze a little more in there if you want to. And as far as the oxygen absorbers, I'm going to put one 3000 cc oxygen absorber for the rice buckets, and then I'm going to put 2 in for the beans buckets because there's more space, more air in there, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and show you the rest of this process here so you can see how this goes. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple though. Alright, so we got our oxygen absorber in here, and with these, this is a 3000 cc one. You can tell if these are good by the fact that they're soft and powdery. If they get hard and crunchy or whatever, then that is when they're basically all used up. So we're going to put that in there and seal this little Ziploc deal here. Get it going. Do it all the way down until there's a couple inches left. Then we're going to take this little shop vac vacuum thing in here. Well, if it'll work. There we go. Kind of suck that down as much as we can. Some of the air out. It doesn't totally seal it. And we take the flat iron. This is the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. I had another one a long time ago and I can't find it. And I've got this one set on 20, so it's like a little over the halfway setting. So it's like this is like a hair straightener flat iron kind of thing. You can also use a 2x4 and an iron and just iron it out. This seems to be pretty easy. My friend Dave, he's the one that showed me this many years back. We did a blog post together. He kind of did a contributing post on my blog, and it seems to work pretty darn well. So I'll do it once and then I'll go back over it second time. Just making sure we get, you know, the whole thing. And I think these Mylar bags are pretty cool because they have the sealing section up here, and then with that Ziploc underneath them, you know, once you open it up, then you can you know, reseal it and stuff. So I think that's pretty good, pretty cool deal. All right, so make sure that Ziploc's good and closed. Close that in, put a lid on top, and then we'll write what's inside of it. This one's rice. And then I'll also put a date on there as well. Boom. It's that easy. sugar. Sugar never goes bad. Pin's falling apart. Okay guys, so we got this all finished up, and you know, like I said, rice and beans and other dried goods like oatmeal, salt, sugar, flour, wheat berries, you know, those kinds of things with a really long shelf life make a great way to lay the kind of the foundation for your food storage plan. But it's really important to incorporate a lot of other variety in there, because you're going to get really tired of this. You know, having, you know, food buckets from Wise, Mountain House, those kind of things. That's one way. Another way is to have, you know, seeds for your garden, to be able to grow garden. Other things, you know, hunting, trapping, you know, those kinds of things. Canned goods, you know, storing up non-perishables in your canned goods. You know, having a stocked pantry in your home, all those kinds of things that I talked about in the food storage video. Those are all good things to do. So just a real quick recap on this. This is, let's see, it's a little over a year's worth of food, because I added another 50-pound bag of rice that I had. Also added a bucket of sugar, and so that's what about, you know, roughly speaking, 1 year's worth of food looks like I said, roughly speaking. And you can get all that for about $200 for the food, and then I've got about, like I said, about $450 in the buckets, and then I'll have to put in here how much the bags were from the Mylar bags and the oxygen absorbers. I'll put that in there too. So that's going to total cost just to get enough calories for a year. But again, it's not just all about calories. It's about nutrients. It's about vitamins and minerals. It's about having a good, well-rounded meal or well-rounded, you know, food storage plan, so that you'll actually eat the food. So as far as the process, you get the buckets, and like I said, you can get them free if you want, you know, at the bakeries or whatever. You put the Mylar bags in there, put the food into it, put the oxygen absorbers in there. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but as I was going, I was just keeping the oxygen absorbers just in a little Ziploc baggie here, just, you know, so they don't go bad as fast or whatever. That may not necessarily, you know, be necessary if you're doing it fairly quickly. Once you get the oxygen absorber in, then go ahead and take your little vacuum of whatever kind. You know, you seal up the Ziploc portion all the way to the end, stick your vacuum in there, suck it down as much as you can, kind of close it as you pull the vacuum out, kind of, you know, keep as much of a vacuum as you can. It's just going to help the oxygen absorbers to be able to be more efficient. Then once you get the Ziploc sealed up, then you take the flat iron, hair straightener kind of thing, or you can use a regular iron and a 2x4 and just do it on one side, and you just crimp it closed. When you do that, the crimps only got to be on there like a half a second, you know, as you go across. They don't have to be very long. You'll be able to tell, you know, when it's melting and getting a good seal and all that kind of stuff. You can tell if your flat iron's getting sorry about that. Getting a little too hot, because it'll be sticky and it'll kind of grab the bag, and then so you want to go ahead and move along, you know, as you go. So, and then you just put the bucket lid on. You can burp the bucket lid if you want. That's not really necessary. And then you write the food type and the date on the lid, you know, unless you choose to do a color coding system or something. Just to talk a little bit about what you want to do with food storage, you're looking to limit the light. That's one of the big reasons for the Mylar, because these buckets, even though they look like they're opaque, when you put a flashlight inside, here, I'll see if I can show you. All right, well, these two buckets are stuck together, but that's actually through 2 buckets. So as you can see, and it's not, this is just a cheap through night. It's like maybe 500 lumen, I don't know, but you know, I can put it back here and you can see that it's translucent. Even though they look opaque, they're not. And so you want the Mylar to help cut down that light transmission. That's also, obviously, the bucket and the Mylar both are keeping moisture away, so you get light and moisture, and then oxygen. That's what we're putting the oxygen absorbers in there and sealing the bag shut for. I'm going to keep that away as much as possible. So you got light, moisture, oxygen, and heat is the other thing. You don't want to have too much heat. You want to keep these stored in a fairly cool and dry location, because if they're in high heat areas, it's going to promote bacteria growth and things like that. So that's what you want to try to limit when you're doing, you know, your food storage and all that kind of jazz. So anyway, guys, like I said, I'll do another video talking more about food boredom, and I'll kind of point you to some studies that have been done that show, that limiting your diet will lead to weight loss, and talk a little bit more about why that's the bad thing, in a survival type situation. So anyway, guys, as always, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus. And well, Google Plus is going away, so whatever. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. And also, I'll have links to all of the supplies and stuff like that that we've used here today down in the description below. We always appreciate it when you use the affiliate links. We don't sell anything. We show you guys options, and then you choose what's right for you. That's an important thing to say here, is that you guys have to look at your situation, figure out what you want to do. If you support our channel and what we're doing here, then using the affiliate links doesn't cost you anything more, but it does give us a little percentage, so we appreciate it. All right, take care, guys.